Hey everybody, welcome. It is Joshua, the geocaching vlogger. Super pumped, super excited to have you guys with us today. We've been doing these live hangouts every 2 weeks, and I really enjoyed going down memory lane with several different cachers. Oh my gosh, I hope you got to see the one we did 2 weeks ago with Daniel Flieger. It was a little crazy since we started that at 10 o'clock. But let's just see who's all in the house. Mr. Knows a Lot is here. Bryson. Udak, welcome. Bruce Meese, welcome. Wooter from Amsterdam, welcome. Welcome, Bo Peeps. Bo Peeps 2. We have 2 Bo Peeps. It's Mr. and Mrs. Bo Peep. EBR is here. Yo. Hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome to all the people that are watching this on replay. And actually, let's be honest, most of you watch this on replay. So, guys, I know we have an awesome show, and we have an awesome. A big shout out to our patrons. They are the ones that make this all happen. Weekly YouTube videos for years, live hangouts. They make it possible. So thank you so much to our patrons. I want to give a special shout out to our newest patrons. We got Chad Tricasius. Does that name sound familiar? Tricasius, the owner of the Disneyland of geocaching in Gilby, North Dakota. I'll have to ask the Twonky about that if he's been up in that area. I'm guessing he's been everywhere, so I'm guessing he might have been up there. Celeste, thank you so much. Autumn B, Ananda W, Tony R, Wolfen, the Village Cachers. Those are some of our newest patrons, so thank you so much. If you're interested in joining our Patreon, it's right here below, patreon.com/geocaching-blogger. We would surely appreciate your support. Something new in Patreon that I just discovered was that now you can support yearly. So you just pay once for a year, and then you're done. You don't have any other payments. And actually, I think you get 1 free month because you do that. So that's exciting. All right. Also, thank you. Every time we do this, we have some people that give us some super chats or super stickers. That's really fun. And if that happens, maybe, just maybe, we can get Dave Barsky himself to do a little dancing. That's the tradition, is I do some sort of dancing moves. I see him right now. He's I don't know if he's up for it. We'll see. Gilbert Marcel from Louisiana is here. I hope you're staying safe. There's a hurricane heading your way, so hopefully everybody's safe down there. Welcome everybody. So here's my guest. I'm going to do a grand introduction, and then Dave the Twonky can fill in any of the gaps. We have Dave Barsky. I want to say diehard geocacher. I've seen him interviewed on other podcasts. I met him in person. He's come to Minnesota. We'll talk a little bit about that. He's approaching 10,000 finds, 10K. All right, I'm like halfway there. So 10,000 finds. He's geocached, according to his geocaching stats, if they're accurate, 22 countries. But not only that, in his real life, thank you so much. See, Bruce already. There it is. Maybe we'll have Baby Yoda dance. Baby, thanks, Bruce. Oh, Allie. See, the super chats are already coming in. I think Dave, I think they really want you to dance. I think that's why they're coming in. Thank you, Allie. Thank you. All right. I don't have any music, but that works. Oh, so in addition to being an avid geocacher, another thing special about him is he is a producer, a television producer. He's produced shows like Dirty Jobs, Expedition Unknown, and right now he's working on Straight Up Steve Austin. You guys know Steve Austin. You guys, I'm a closet. I don't know if I'm closet wrestling fan. Look at this. Survivor Series chair. Okay, maybe we'll talk a little bit about Steve Austin because that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. Ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, please give the applause. We have the one, the only, Dave Barsky, the Twonky. There he is. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Josh. Thanks for having me, man.
How was that? I mean, how was the introduction? I thought it was pretty solid.
Yeah, no, I'll give you. You know, I think you could maybe host your own show, even on YouTube.
Well, I know somebody that has some connections. Certainly YouTube, but yeah, I'll be glad. Reach out to Discovery Channel, National Geographic. Just learn. I'm open. I'm open to any. I would even be on Lifetime. I would.
You would actually probably be way overqualified for many of those networks. I know.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, David, it's good to see you, man. When was the last time that we saw each other face to face? It was, if I remember, there was snow on the ground.
Oh yeah.
It was before we had this horrible virus going around.
Right.
That we knew of. Was it November? Were you here in November?
No, it was actually January.
Oh, wow.
January. It was about 8 degrees outside, and I
Yep.
loved every minute of it because you took me to a TARDIS.
Yes.
And that's actually, Doctor Who is probably my favorite television show of all time. I've been watching it since I will say I'll be watching it since 1980, which is quite a long time.
Die Hard.
So, yeah, I'm a huge fan, and it was a real treat for me. And I mentioned on Instagram, you posted, I think it was the cover of FDF magazine that you were there and you had your event there, and
yeah,
I just said on Instagram, I'm going to go there in a couple months. You said, hey, hit me up if you're in town. I was like,
I love it.
Well, and the rest is history. It was a fun night. I really appreciate you hosting me, man.
It was so fun to hang out with you. I even it was good because I can never get my wife to go out with me geocaching, and I told them you were in town. We made it happen. Had some Mexican food. It was awesome. And you were in town. You were in town for a Doctor Who convention.
That's a matter of fact. Yes, I've been going to the one. I've been to the one in Minneapolis a couple times now. It's been going on for 7 years. It used to be in May, but they switched to January a couple years back, which was great.
I got a question for you. Maybe you know the answer to this. I've always wondered this. What is the connection between Doctor Who and geocachers? It seems to me that geocachers and Doctor Who, like they're just like cross-pollinate so well. Is it just the sheer nerdiness of it all, or what is it?
I was probably going to say exactly that. I mean, there's some nerdoms that just cross lines, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, I mean, you want to talk about a lot of crossovers. I was in Krakow, Poland. Let me see, July 2 years ago, 2018, and I actually went there because one of my favorite bands was playing there on my birthday. I'm half Polish. So I went to went to Krakow, Poland to see Iron Maiden play, and there was an event a day of the concert, and it was about 10 people showed up, but there's one guy who was born a year after me from Wyoming. He was there for the Iron Maiden concert. He was a geocacher because he was at the event, and his geocacher name was Doctor Who 71. So. Triple threat right there. I mean, we were like almost best friends, from day one.
That's so funny because I remember. Here's my Iron Maiden story. Okay. When I was a junior hire, I thought I was going to be like, like really cool. And some of my friends were like, because you see the artwork of Iron Maiden, it's really like intense.
Oh, yeah.
And for like a junior hire, like, oh, that's like really awesome. But I didn't even know what Iron Maiden sound like. So I got a cassette tape. Back then, I think it was the late 80s, right? I put it in, I listened to it, and I was terrified. I'm just gonna say, like, I thought all of a sudden I was devil worshiping. It was so frightening.
It's a common misconception, but they're not like that at all. Trust me, I wouldn't be into it if it were the case. No, that's true.
No, I mean, I know that now as an adult, but just the sound terrified me.
The music's supposed to scare the adults and the parents, not the kids. It's a concept, that Maiden and most metal bands are about.
I love it. All right, so I'm just saying right now, when you came, you have a mix of like vibes going on right now because you have this like lovely bookshelf behind you. You're like so. Look at how well read you are, sir.
Yes.
But then your wardrobe. I just kind of feel like you have spent a lot of time with Steve Austin.
Well, yeah, I mean. For one, I'm not wearing pants, so that is indicative.
Well, neither am I.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't realize I'm wearing a nerdy hat too. I don't know if anyone knows what that is. Wait, where's the camera? Whoop.
Other way. There it is. Oh, it looks familiar.
I wonder if anyone in the chat knows what that is. That's actually from a science fiction program, a kid science fiction program from the early 70s called Land of the Lost.
Oh, I remember.
And this is like the aliens that were there. This family went back in time, and these aliens called Sleestack were inhabiting the prehistoric ages for some reason. They got screwed up, and they got back in time too. So they were the main baddies, other than a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
It's a little bit before my time, but I know of Land of the Lost. Oh, look at your buddy right here.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Land of the Lost. So he knows he's from Australia, so he even knows it. So that's
speaking of Land of the Lost, man. Hey,
yeah. Yeah.
Well, don't get me wrong. I love Australia.
Yeah. But you've been to Australia.
I was in Australia in 2012 before I was a cacher, actually. So
oh, really?
obviously I got to get back.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And I was going to say you know somebody, but our friend Craig is moving here soon.
Craig's moving to Jersey, man. We're gonna have a word.
Yeah. A lot of people are giving him a hard time about that. So here's the thing. Okay, so you're shooting right now, straight up Steve Austin.
Right.
For those of you who don't know in the chat, Steve Austin, most well known as a WWE superstar. Excellent podcaster.
Yes.
Great interviewer. But you're filming the show, and just real briefly, could just what's, for those who haven't seen the show, what is it about? What's the vibe?
Well, the analogy I like to compare it to is, I think most people know Jerry Seinfeld's Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
Yeah.
That's a very basic concept, just an interview show. I like to say we're an amped up version of that. Instead of being in cars, we're rolling over cars and tanks. That's actually something we actually did in our first episode, which is a hell of a lot more fun than just talking in cars. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but we do some talking in cars too as well. But so it's like, we really want to get to know. We have one guest per episode, a half an hour episode that's on USA Network. It'll probably start airing again. We just started for let me see, our first episode was shot yesterday. For our second season, it's going to start airing again probably around January, and I think it'll be on Monday nights again. I'm not quite sure of that. In this post-COVID landscape or current COVID landscape, television's the whole industry is up, upended. Yeah,
I'm sure.
We were actually ready. We were actually ready to shoot back in March. Our first episode, we had to cancel a week away from shooting because of the whole world shutting down.
Right. Right. So here's the question. This is a geocaching show, obviously. So what does first of all, number one, is Steve Austin aware of geocaching? Does he know about it? Does he know you geocache? And if he doesn't know about it, what do you think he would think of it if you took him?
Well, we haven't talked about that yet.
Okay. You're not at that place of your relationship yet.
Well, it's funny. We have a lot in common, actually. We both like, crappy 80s metal. We've discovered that early on. So we talk about rock and roll all the time and other cool stuff. But, I probably wouldn't be doing it close to set in LA, but when we go other places, I wake up early in the morning a lot, and even before shoots, if I'm up at 5 o'clock, I'll leave the hotel, when I'm traveling, and I'll get, 5 to 10 caches that morning and then go do my work. So I'm thinking the next time we're on the road, Steve might have to come with me. I'll introduce him hard.
That'd be so awesome. Please have your phone running.
Oh no, I definitely will. It'll be fun.
That would be.
I actually, we shot some, mentioned Dirty Jobs. We shot some specials over the summer, and we had like carte blanche with the network, and it's hard to really produce television with COVID and all stuff the way we need to, the way Dirty Jobs used to. So we couldn't go to people, but we had like clip shows. They ordered 4 clip shows.
Okay.
And, they wanted like mini missions. Like they wanted to promote getting out, and just trying to get some exercise or whatever. And they wanted us not to be locked in a room like everybody else would be watching these TV shows. So so we needed ways to introduce these clips. So we wanted some framework. So at the top of every episode, we introduced a mini mission. We'd go from our, ranch that we were staying at, and I had to come up with 4 of these things. And I'm like, I picked where we were shooting. I'm very familiar with the area, so it was easy to kind of produce. But I knew there was a geocache I wanted to get, and I pitched it to the network, and they're like, yeah, they didn't know what it was. The network executive didn't know what it was, but it said, hey, I like the idea. It's you got to get out. You're promoting that, so go for it.
Yeah,
so
and the cave.
My God, I couldn't believe I got away with that, but I was happy to do so. Let me tell you,
it was perfect. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, there was a special Dirty Jobs episode with Mike Rowe, right? And the episode is Tight Spaces. Yeah. And you took Mike to a cave, so that's perfect framing. For those, maybe some people have seen it in the chat, but is there any behind the scenes stuff that we didn't see? I want to know what we didn't see.
Oh, well, there's always unairable stuff when Mike and I get together. Let me tell you that.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we're just a bunch of idiots trapped, we're old men now and 14-year-old, brains,
Right.
We always have some fun. There's a few things that, we had to cut out for time and all that kind of stuff, but you never, when you can't pre-produce certain things, you never know what you're going to get. And I was hoping to get something good out of this geocache, and it was a cave, but a lot for me, it's the journey itself. Sometimes it's not like getting a lot of swag or finding an awesome cache. There's times for all that stuff.
Right.
I mean, sometimes I'll do a power trail and be happy, but sometimes in the mood to get one neat gadget cache, and I'll make an adventure out of it on my own, even when I'm caching on my own. So, it's hard to off the cuff to think of anything that I could really talk about in a lot of ways, because literally it was a reunion for us. We hadn't shot the regular Dirty Job show in 8 years. The last time we were together shooting was, in fact, in 2012 in Australia. We did 4 episodes there. Okay. And we'd all worked, and some of us hung out in between. I've seen Mike a bunch of times because we're friends, but he's been busy with other shows. I've been busy with other shows. Yep. But it was just hanging again with the buds, and we wanted to kind of make it that for real and have that feel on the show.
Yeah, I totally had that feel. Just those shots of you hanging out that ranch, sitting in the chair, him turning to you, talking about what's this thing? He's got Dave's got a crazy hobby, and then it was just, it's such satisfying payoff. I don't know why. I don't know why people get so excited. Geocachers get so excited when they see a celebrity face find a geocache, but it just makes us geek out. I don't know why.
Well, no, I mean, listen, I first said this when I was watching Cops many, many years ago, before I was even in the business. I'm like, why are these people getting busted for whatever they did? And sometimes bad stuff, domestic abuse or whatever. Right. Why are they letting themselves be on television like this? Right. And I think people actually think television validates their lives. Mm. It makes you like a somebody. It's not right. It's not a right notion. It's not a true notion.
Right.
But I think people sometimes feel that way. And when you bring something to a larger audience, a larger stage, if you will, that's kind of validation, and, right. and it's nice to see a hobby, if you want to call it that, because a lot of people mostly call it that, a right. hobby, a game that you love, promoted like that.
Yeah.
I mean, why would? Of course, you're going to geek out. I was geeking out doing it. I was so excited to finally put it on TV.
That's so cool.
And I think it was Gary from from the
Geocache Talk.
Geocache Talk. He's like, man, in the first 5 minutes, it was more talk about geocaching than I've ever seen on television before.
I know.
Mostly because Mike was making fun of it, was really skeptical. Mike Rowe had no idea. The great thing about Mike is he's really into subcultures, and he was fascinated about this, and he knew a little bit about it. And when he heard I was doing it, he was like, "Oh my God, that makes total sense for you, because that's who you are."
Right, and I think too, it's nice to have an accurate portrayal of geocaching.
Yeah,
because we've seen the other, right? You see it on YouTube, especially people trying it the first time. They don't know, and they're fumbling around, and that's part of it. But it's nice to see somebody that is as diehard as you portray it in an accurate way.
Well, listen, when I was on Geocache Talk, they asked me if I'd ever want to produce a regular series on, for television on geocaching, and I said no way, because first of all, it's going to take the fun out of it for me, because I don't want it to be work. And secondly, I think television networks would want it to be something that it's not, and it'll be overly produced and faked. And I just can't do that. That's not the kind of television I do.
Yeah.
I call what I do nonfiction, and I deal with real people and real life situations most of the time in my career and what I produce. And I could never, like make up a silly geocache. Besides, is with geocaching, there's accountability. I mean, all this stuff is online, and we know what it's supposed to be from various logs and all that kind of stuff. And you have to register it. It just wouldn't work in my opinion.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. As much as I would love to star in a geocaching show, I understand. And so the interview is now over, guys. So thanks for having me on, Dave.
I appreciate it. Sorry to burst everybody's bubble.
Oh, okay. So I don't know, Dave. Thank you so much for coming on in short notice. You guys, I asked him literally on Monday, and so thanks. So I'm happy you're available. I know you're a busy guy, especially right now with your shooting. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
What we've been doing over the last several months, we've been kind of capitalizing on the theme of Memory Lane, geocaching Memory Lane. That was a souvenir promotion that is still going on and started a while ago. How quickly, Dave? How quickly did you finish Memory Lane? Is it something you just like did it in one day, or did you just get the souvenirs without even noticing?
I finished Memory Lane so long ago, my memory is probably false of when I actually did it. I think I got the first one in the first day, and then I did a lot of caching. I think I finished everything, all the other souvenirs in a second day. Not consecutively, but within a week or so. I think. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Memory Lane. Just to remind everybody, the themes around Memory Lane, around the souvenirs, are the first geocache hidden, the first geocoin, the first mega event, the first million caches hidden, and the 20th anniversary. So, Dave, I didn't really prepare you very much for this, but we've been basing kind of our questioning, getting to know other cachers around sort of these themes. So, the first question I have for you is take us to the beginning, Dave. Take us to your first geocaching experience. How did you hear about it? When you found your first one, what were your thoughts? Do you remember what was in it? Was it a micro, a regular? Tell me about it.
Well, I was actually doing research for a show called Expedition Unknown, which was at the time on the Travel Channel. It's now on Discovery Channel. And, I had just started the show, and we're going to be doing an episode on Christopher Columbus, whose final resting place is, depending on what country you ask, is, variable. Maybe his bones are in the Dominican Republic. They might be in Spain, 3 different places in Spain, Portugal. Nobody knows for sure. But so we had been doing some research, and we're about to go to Spain and Portugal. And I was looking for things and items for reenactments of Columbus's days. So I actually Googled Columbus coin, like Columbus era coin for for the time he was alive. And in the Google search, something said Columbus geocoin. And I'm like, what the hell is a geocoin? So I literally looked that up, and then something called geocaching showed up in that search. And then I went directly to the page, geocaching.com homepage. And I was like, this is cool. This is for me, man. And I literally paid for a subscription that day.
You paid for a subscription before you went out?
Yes.
For the first time?
Yes, I did.
I love it. I love the commitment.
No, listen, I know who I am. I know I'd be into that. It sounded awesome. I mean, I didn't really know much about it. I saw the little introduction video with the pulling the chair down from the tree, and I'm like, I'll do that. That sounds great. So about a couple days went by, and I was waiting for my ride to the airport to go to Portugal, and I wanted to get a Starbucks. And in between Starbucks and my house was a geocache. I looked on the app, and there it was, and I found it. After maybe about 5-10 minutes, it was in a tree, and there was a whole line of olive trees that between my house and Starbucks, and I found it, and it was in the hollow of a tree, and you had to pull it out. I think it was attached to like a coat hanger or something. And it was a cool little thing, and whatever. It was awesome. There was nothing but a log in it. But I dug it. And to tell you the truth, that has since been archived, and I resurrected it. And I actually it was called Ernie Keebler because the nature of it being in the hollow of a tree.
Right.
So I resurrected it in the same place after it was archived, and I call it Ernie Undead.
I love it
because it was my first cache, and it was a location specific that to me that was very special. So I wanted to keep it alive for other people as well. But the great thing was, literally within the next hours, I was flying to Portugal, and the next day I found my second cache in Portugal, in a cemetery. We were on the island of Madeira, and then we flew on to Spain, and in Sevilla, Spain, on July 4th. I found my third cache. So my first 3 caches I found in a week in 3 different countries.
I don't think a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people could say that. Their first
yeah.
caches.
I don't know. Some people in Europe might be able to because the countries are all close
true.
together. But man, I wish I lived in Europe. Man, you could go to so many different cultures in a matter of hours. It's amazing.
What year was that? Dave?
That was 2015. That was
2015.
Yeah, late June, early July of 2015.
That's fascinating. Also, I don't know if I know very many people that discovered geocaching through a geocoin.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. So that was sort of my second question is like, what was the first? Bruce. Okay, Dave, you're on. What do you got? You got some dance moves or something?
Oh, wait.
What do you got?
Flossing? Oh my goodness. I don't know. I mean, I can walk like an Egyptian or something like that. I don't know.
Walk
is that how you do it? That's how. All right.
Walk like an Egyptian.
I can't dance with you. I have to sit down every time I see you. I mean,
all I do. Are you a wrestling fan? All I do is the Daniel Bryan.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yes, chant. You can do that. There you go. We got a little walk like an Egyptian. Okay, back to the subject. So you discovered geocaching through a kind of a geocoin, a Columbus geocoin. Do you own that geocoin?
No.
Did you go back and look it up? Okay.
No. It was a long time. I mean, I guess. Well, I became fascinated with the beauty of geocoins shortly thereafter, for sure. And I was at one point like seeking them out when you can easily find them on the app. I remember like, oh, I'd like to get that coin, check it out, and move it on because I know it's special for some people to get that done. And I was seeking out caches with coins in them, just because I love the artwork on some of them and to move them along. I love doing. I literally. I probably found over 300 trackables, and I keep track of every trackable I ever find.
Never lost one.
Just so I like to see them go
all
over the world.
Oh, you watch them? Watch the trackables?
Yeah, I watched them.
Every single one.
Every single one.
You've got to have a separate email for geocaching.
I do.
Okay,
I totally do.
That's a lot. That's a lot of.
Well, some of them don't move much. Some of them get archived, But yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to stop doing that. I think.
Are you a geocoin collector? Do you collect
I'm not. And by the way, I only move coins in trackable. I don't just discover them. I don't see a real point in that. I like to follow ones that I've actually handled and helped move. Yeah.
So do you remember the first trackable that you encountered in the wild? I had to look mine up because I couldn't remember, but
I think it was I think there's more than one of this series. It was like a Don Corleone. It was like it had like bullet holes in it. It was
okay.
Yeah, I think it was like somewhere that like the mafia theme one sort of thing. And I found it fairly close to my home, and I was like, "Wow, this is weird, but cool." I'm pretty sure that was the first one I found. It was an actual coin, a big old coin.
So that was the first trackable, was a coin that you found. Yeah. That's the same for me because I think I didn't know what a trackable was at the time. So when you have this beautiful, when you've been going through caches, this is within my first 50 caches, and all of a sudden you see this beautiful thing in a cache, it catches your attention.
Oh yeah.
So I had to actually, and I showed it on a previous show, I had to actually go back, see what coin I discovered the first time, and then I went to GeoCoin Fest, and a friend of mine found that coin, not the coin that was moving, but the replica of it. So it's kind of fun to own the very first coin that I found. So let's talk a little bit about events. Have you been to some events? Were you at the big Gigastock in Cincinnati? Were you there?
I was in the middle of a job then. I couldn't do it. Okay. Just I was planning up to the very last minute, and then I just couldn't do it. It took me a good while to come. Like I started. Let me see. I started. What did I say? June 2015 is when I started, and my first event was the Planetary Pursuit era of things. That was the first event I went to. I wasn't into the social aspect of it back then. I didn't quite come out of my geocaching closet until then, let's say. But honestly, I immediately loved it because I met people who I was familiar with from finding their caches and things like that. There was a good 20 people at that event because they wanted the souvenir and all that kind of stuff. UDAC was there, for instance. The first time I met her, and a lot of other great people who are local here in Los Angeles. So I had a blast, and honestly, they that circle of friends is one of my primary social circles right now.
Yeah, yeah. And so knowing your personality, sometimes a lot of geocachers are a little bit more on the introverted side. Would you consider yourself an introvert, extrovert? Are you a closet introvert? Do you turn it on when you need to?
I think honestly, I think I don't turn anything on. Well, I should say. That's no.
That's a different show. Different show.
Okay. Yeah. I look, what you see is what you get. Yeah. And I'd say I'm a closet extrovert, if you will. I mean, look at all the books behind me. I love reading, and I collect books and I read them too. And I like a lot of those type of things. And typically throughout my life, those sort of introverted pursuits have been my main hobbies. But I love hiking, I love getting out, I love traveling, and this is a great hobby for that. I mean, I don't need to tell anybody that.
No kidding. Yeah, totally. Gas station tuna doesn't believe you.
Yeah.
Your buddy thinks you're.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I know. He can say it all. He's been in this very room, so yeah. If that's a hologram, so is he.
Oh, I love it. So let's talk about countries. So I think I looked at your stats. Have you hit six continents? Haven't done it?
No, I have never in my life even been to South America. Okay. And I'll tell you this, I was planning on going to Peru this year, but this whole pandemic decided to happen.
Yeah. You're going to have to make it down to Brazil too for the ape cache.
Oh, sure.
That's a great trip.
Yeah.
But you got 5 continents. Tell us, very well traveled. What are some of your best out of the U.S. caching experiences?
Well, I'll have to say, I mentioned the Iron Maiden concert in Poland. Poland was great. In the mornings, my wife was working a little bit in the hotel room, so I had opportunity to spend 3 hours exploring on my own, finding some caches. And I've only been to a couple places in Germany, and I haven't had a lot of caching experience. I think I only got 3 caches in Germany, but they're legendary, of course, with their caches over there. I got to tell you, from what I understand about Germany, I think a little bit's rubbing off on Poland. Some really, really great stuff. I was blown away some of the inventiveness of some of the hides there. And, the thing about it is it's tough whenever you even within the United States, you go to a different region, a different town even sometimes, and it's hard to, initially get a feel for the styles of hides that, that region is accustomed to. So I had a lot of DNFs in Poland over the 2 weeks I was there. But I found a lot of really, really fun caches that, I mean, some very favorited caches, in fact, because they were so cool.
So Gas Station Tuna says, tell the Poland story. Is there a story?
Well, he came in late. I mean, I don't know if there's another. Man, I have a lot of Poland stories. I'm not sure. Can he be more specific, please?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Just text me, man. I'll figure it out. I don't know what you're talking about, honestly.
Tell us about maybe one of the most scenic, beautiful places that you've cached.
Well, one of the stories in Poland, we were in Zakopane, my wife and I, and we love hiking. And Zakopane is in the mountains on the, I guess it's Slovenian border, close. And we decided to hike up this mountain. And it's crazy because it was a hard hike because there was literally these giant stone steps almost all the way up.
Okay.
But, they were so high. You had to do a lot more stepping than just walking on the plane, and it was wet, and there was a cache on the very top of that mountain, and it was so frustrating because a lot of times it says, "Oh, you're only 200 feet away," but you got to go right. Up the mountain, it's 200 feet that way, not that way, and we're about 3/4 of the way up, and a storm rolls in, and you couldn't even see the top of the mountain anymore. We're like, "Oh God, we better get out of here before we die from lightning strike or something," so I never got to that. It was sometimes the DNS are some of the most fun ones, but it was one of the most beautiful hikes and most arduous hikes we've ever had. but it wasn't. It was really fun. Oh, okay. Gas station.
It's coming back to you.
He just texted me. All right, here mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Zakopane, there were very few caches. There's probably, I don't know, 6 that I was probably able to get to. But I was in the middle of a streak then. I was on day. Okay. I was trying to making an attempt again at the full calendar 365 streak, 366 streak. And I think I got to 116, and there was a cache I was saving that was 300 feet outside my hotel room. And it was in this, metal fence. It was basically a guardrail, but it was, it was a stone wall and had a metal fence, and it was magnetic. I know I've seen pictures, and I just could not find the thing. I mean, it was probably about this big, supposedly Tupperware. I was looking through every picture. I found the crack that someone had set it on the wall, but I couldn't find this thing within 40 feet of it. And I had to DNF it, and my streak ended there in Poland, dead.
Oh,
yeah, that was brutal.
Was that your longest streak, or have you gone past?
That was my longest streak. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any aspirations to streak again?
Well, listen, I started when the pandemic started. I actually ended up getting 86 straight days. Because I had time, but streaks aren't really my thing. But the only reason why I really want to do it is probably just so I can claim the 12 challenge caches of streaks I've already signed.
Right, you get those bonus 12 caches.
Yeah, no, I'm a huge challenge cache fan, so I'll sign anything.
I was just going to ask you that. What kind of cacher are you? Because I remember when Geocache Talk did their little contest where they got to play with the leaderboard, the geocaching.com leaderboard, and you had just when that started, you went on a cross country road trip. When at that time it seemed like you were appeared to be a power cacher type of guy. What kind of cacher are you? What are you a big find the favorite points, or you try to get as many in a day type of person, or are you find the best one in each location? What kind of cacher are you?
I like it all, really, and sometimes I'll be in the mood for a power trail just because I like it's kind of meditative for me. You get in a rhythm, you just go, and I don't do that often. I might do that once a year, get 200 caches in a day, 100 caches in a day, something like that. But, it runs the gamut because I do want to find all the oldest caches, on that. I got lucky with that leaderboard thing that they were doing, because I was just about to launch cross country just to drive to my mom's house and pick up a few states, geocaching along the way. But when, the points came out for more, unknown caches, I was solving all these puzzles all across the nation. I was detouring up to Ontario. I was getting all this stuff. So, that motivated me for that. But at the same time, I saw a lot of great places I wouldn't have because I want to get those higher point caches for that particular leaderboard. But, I love earth caches. I always want to check out some awesome, geography and geology. And that's why I love going to Utah as well. I went to get, Potter's Pond, because it's one of the oldest in the world right now. And there's a lot of great earth caches up there as well. So, I do want to get some oldest ones. I do occasionally get favorite ones. I do want to check out, some awesome virtuals, all that kind of stuff. I don't think I can really define if I have a specific goal. I just want to have fun. That's just it.
So that's a game. It's a game to have fun. Yeah. So you're kind of a variety platter kind of.
Yeah,
cacher.
But no, look, it'll get competitive, especially, some of my geocaching friends and stuff like that. We'll want to outdo each other, on a micro level, if you will, so anyways, yeah. So
you've toured a lot of the United States. You've seen a lot of the United States. You know, a lot of caches. I think somebody said 42 states the U.S. you've cached in.
Yeah, I think I'm at 42, right? 43, something like that now. Yeah. And before we started the Steve Austin show again, I was like 6 days away from driving up to Idaho to get that and go over to up to Montana, maybe South Dakota, North Dakota as well. But I just I couldn't do it. So I don't know.
So you haven't cached North Dakota yet, huh? You haven't been to Gilby, North Dakota.
Well, I certainly want to go now after listening to you talk about it. Let me tell you, it sounds awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think my last 8 videos, I just went to spend a weekend there. My last 8 videos have been there, and it's just such amazing, well built. I mean, North Dakota can be pretty harsh, especially in the winter, but really well built, creative geocaches, gadget caches like I've never seen anywhere else.
Oh yeah, the one you had to drive for, that was cool, man.
Oh yeah, driving to Daisy.
Yeah,
driving to Daisy.
Yeah,
like you get to say, you're like, what am I supposed to do with this? And drive. That was a lot of fun. Out of the box.
I mean, call me crazy, but I actually love North Dakota too. I've been there several times. Yeah. Fargo's a great town. I've been to Dickinson. I've been all over the state. I think it's beautiful. I really do.
Yeah. Can you think of some of your favorite? This is my next question about the United States. Some of your favorite caches that really stick out to you in the United States. Is there any particular ones that you're like, wow, I'll never forget that?
Just because of who I am, and I think we already kind of touched on anything with the TARDIS is going to be awesome to me. I'll give that. I'll give even if it's
mine. No.
Well, the one in Wisconsin is awesome.
Yeah, Milwaukee. Yeah, maybe one of the best geocaches in America.
Yeah, it
might be.
I mean, when I hear that theme when the TARDIS door opens up, I mean, I get choked up on that. I thought that was awesome. Absolutely unbelievable. That last August, and even if it's a little free library in the shape of a TARDIS, I'm all good.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So the TARDIS one. Do you have any? Have you ever been out to West Virginia? Any West Virginia Tim's stuff?
I did. I was out in West Virginia last year when we were shooting again straight up Steve Austin. We were in Cleveland. We shot there. We did we did an episode with Baker Mayfield, the quarterback for Cleveland Browns. And then we were shooting at Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s place down in North Carolina. Cool. And, everybody else, flew or whatever. I rented a car just so I could go geocaching in different states. Because I hadn't geocached in Pittsburgh area yet, or even anything of Pennsylvania at that point. So I cut through there, and then I went down through West Virginia and Virginia. I wasn't able to hit any of West Virginia Tim's. I was too far west, I believe. Yeah. But I did find I was able to fill a fizzy square with with a what was it called? It was called Mike something Mike Rowe, as in Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs.
Oh,
Mike Rowe. I wish I could remember the name. It was one other word. And it was a high. It was in the back of a mall, but it was up a hill in the woods and then down the other side of the ravine. So like I arrived, at my hotel, and I went out to get this thing at dusk, and it was like had just rained. I'm sliding down the hill, and it was a microwave oven up in the woods in these rocks. Some idiot called that up, but it was awesome though. It was really cool. And I had no idea it was a square I needed either, for my fizzy, but it was really fun.
That's fun. So you got 10,000 coming up. I don't. I mean, it's coming up. I think you're at 9,000 something, right?
Yeah, 9,700 area. Honestly, since 4,000 when I've been trying to get a different icon for the thousands. My 4,000 cache was actually the first cache ever placed in Poland, and it was a virtual. At the Jewish Museum in Poland. And so ever since then, I've been trying to get different icons, and I was going to make my 10,000 cache HQ. And
that'd be cool.
Not happening. It's just not happening.
No, I don't know. Nobody knows when that place is.
Yeah, I know. So I figure it's probably gonna be my 20,000th at this point.
Yeah.
So I was expecting to be at 10,000 by now, but caching has been down for obvious reasons, and the only other icon I really need for one of those milestones is a multi. So I might have to. I got one selected. So we'll see what happens.
Where do you mind telling us?
Yeah, I mean. It's actually, I think, about 7-point multi, maybe 8th for the final, but it takes you to the grave sites of 7 different Three Stooges.
Oh,
and I can
fun.
do that. And also, I'm also a huge Three Stooges fan. I mean, I have every book written about the Three Stooges. I have all the DVDs, all that kind of stuff, and you know they're all buried around Los Angeles. So I'm going to go to their gravesites, and you know the cemeteries are open at this time, so I think you can do all of them. I got to double check.
So anybody, speaking of that, anybody traveling to Southern California, are there some areas that geocachers should focus on? I know one of our great supporters, our patrons, is Roomba Cats. I want to come. I know you know him. I want to go. I want to just visit some of his caches. I've seen some of his stuff on YouTube. But there's some areas that you would recommend in where you live there?
Well, I'm going to tell you, one of the greatest things about Los Angeles is that it has everything you could possibly want terrain-wise within an hour, no matter where you're at. You can get to the mountains, you can get to the desert, you can go to the beach and the ocean, and you can also do urban caching if you want. Roomba Cats lives in the high desert, about 40 miles away from me. I go to, his events when I can. I've been to plenty of them, and he introduces and tests a lot of his new gadgets. He's got a whole, he owns, an area of the desert where he has a lot of his cool gadget caches. So there's Gadget Cache quadrant out there.
He owns the area.
Well, I mean, I don't say owns, but I mean he's the man.
Yeah, he's the man.
There's no better cache in the area than anything, unless it has the name Roomba Cats on it. There's a lot of cool ones up there, but there's one quadrant of the desert that he's got, and you can get a lot of his caches in a day if you want. But the hiking is phenomenal in a lot of the Santa Monica Mountains and other regions, and I love doing that. I was really bummed, they literally closed down a lot of the hiking trails, and I went up to the Backbone Trail here early on in March, and literally I parked my car. I see this massive yellow right into the trail. They literally murder taped the entrance off. Do not go in. You cannot hike on this trail. I was going to get 10 caches that day, but they literally caution taped the trail off. Couldn't go because they didn't want people because of the pandemic.
UDAC says the hike to the Hollywood sign is great. Have you done that hike?
No, I haven't. I haven't done a lot in Griffith Park area. I haven't cached up in, by the observatory yet. But yeah, I know that a lot of people dig that. I mean, I go on crazy hikes. I mean, I just did a 7-hour hike in 90-degree heat 3 weeks ago. It's just 2 miles away from my house, and I was, you look at the geocaching app, and this string of caches is just staring at you every time you open it up because it's so close to your house. And I've been meaning to get it for a long time. I like resurrecting quote unquote old caches too. I actually signed a quote unquote resurrection challenge cache, and talk about getting deep into the game. On top of that, all you have to do for this to claim a find on this thing is to find one cache that has not been found for at least a year. However, I mean, it's fairly simple, no matter where you live, I think. But what the guy does is he keeps a leaderboard on the page. So every time you find one, you keep putting a note on, and he'll add your number, and there's a leaderboard. He's had it for years. I'm currently in third, I think. I started out, I just jumped into third because I already had so many. I only signed this last December when I was back. It's in Boston. The cache is in Boston. And but there's one woman who has 2,600 resurrection caches. I'll never catch her. I have 500 or something like that for something.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
So resurrection caches, you mean found lonely caches?
Yes.
Or hit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything that you find that hasn't been found for a year, you can count it as a resurrection.
Awesome. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. We have some questions in the chat.
Sure.
We'll go a couple 10 more minutes here. Thanks so much again.
Hey Dave, man, I look at as long as you need. I don't want to bore anybody, but whatever you need, brother.
Awesome. You're very kind. And if you have any questions in the chat, please just put them in there and I'll put it off here. UDAC has a question. Another question. Do you like adventure labs? Has that been an area that you've done?
They're I actually was just awarded one, so I got to figure that out a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, I do like them. I mean, as long as like any cache, like any version of any type of cache, some are great, some are okay. Yeah, but I've done maybe 5 or 6 of them, but I love history as well. So
Yeah.
when the ones that really take you to places, especially local here, that I just didn't know about, I love learning. It's so great. I did one that was in Burbank about some of the Hollywood studios like Disneyland, Disney Studio, and there was one, and there's a couple questions about Warner Brothers as well, and that's still history no matter what. I love it.
That's really cool. Did you get a chance to do? I don't know if I brought it up. Did you get a chance to do my Prince Adventure Lab?
Yeah, no, you mentioned it when we were together. It was just, the weather was just so formidable though.
Oh,
I never got to do it. 8 degrees and 17 feet of snow. It's really hard to get around.
I love how people are just like looking at your stats while we go.
Oh yeah.
Wait, no.
Thanks, Craig. 54.
50, yeah, 54. Okay.
Well, yeah, I was in Utah back in March. I started doing one before my plane was going to leave back to LA, and I couldn't find like the 5th cache, and it was a sequential one, and I putted out, man. I was really bummed.
Yeah,
that's where the 4 comes in, that odd number. I didn't have any lab caches before Adventure Labs.
Okay. Oh, you didn't.
I've never been to any megas or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Dying to go, but I haven't been.
I'm assuming that if you're available, that had you planned to go to the 2020 event in Seattle?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think that's when I was going to try to time my 10,000th for that visit so I can go to HQ. Also, wanted to go to Mingo Madness, so still hoping to do that. I mean, I got Mingo on that trip I had last year that we talked about, the cross country trip. I got Mingo, but great bunch of people out there. It sounds like an awesome event, and I definitely want to get to it, man.
Yeah, I really hope to see you at
yeah.
I'd be glad to see you at any event. Wouldn't even have
man. Same here. It's such a great community. Everybody's so cool. You like a lot of people say it's you have an instant friend wherever you go. I'll never forget. It's like, I go to Poland, I go to this event, in the middle of the square in Krakow, and there's people from all over the place. I'll never forget this one guy, I think he had like 15,000 fines at the time or something like that, and he was Polish, I'm pretty sure. Didn't speak great English. He introduced himself and his name, and all he said was 4 times Jasmer. And I'm like, okay, thanks, man. No pressure.
Do you have aspirations do you have the first Jasper loop done?
I still have 6 left in the first Jasper. I mean, look, again, my motivation for completing that is just all the challenge caches I've signed for that.
You're right.
Same thing with Fizzy. I mean, I only got 2 squares for Fizzy left. So,
so you're getting there. And honestly, a trip to the 2020 event, I don't know how much you've cached in Oregon, but that you can get quite a few of those Jasmers if you have.
Yeah, ask Craig how much I have in Oregon. I think it's like 120, something like that.
Okay.
I was up there. I was shooting there for another project a couple years ago, and I built in a whole day to go caching up, the Klamath area, Medfield, not Medfield. What is it called? Emily Renee would know. She was actually there the same day. I posted something on Instagram. She goes, I was there, Medford, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I loved caching there.
Oregon's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm a big Goonies. I love the Goonies. So I had to visit Astoria and and live my Goonies life.
Yeah, I should probably tell you this, but he's since passed. But my wife's uncle actually produced that film.
Really?
Yeah,
oh my gosh, that's cool.
He loved Astoria, and that's why it takes place there.
Oh gosh, the place is just. Have you visited Astoria before?
Oh yeah, been there a couple times.
Yeah, you go into that city, you understand why they filmed it there because it just feels magical for some reason.
Yeah.
And several other movies. I think Kindergarten Cop was filmed there too. Not as big a fan of Kindergarten Cop. Is there any international cache on your bucket list?
Anything in a different country is on my bucket list. I mean, I think my dream is to cache Antarctica. That's number one. I guess there's at least an Earth cache or reversal on the South Pole.
Yep.
So yeah, there's so many. I just love traveling anyway. I want to see every country I can. I'd like to go to the rare countries. I'm still kicking myself. I was a cacher when I was in the Philippines and Nepal for Expedition Unknown. I didn't get a single cache there because I just didn't know what I was doing yet. And
Oh,
I mean, Nepal's a rare country to get a
right.
cache in, and I just blew it. I'm still kicking myself on that one.
Do you have a lot of geocaching regret? Because I'm sure there's been several countries. I mean, my biggest is Hawaii because I was there before. I was a cacher. But do you just look at your map and you're just like,
oh yeah,
I went there, but it's not filled in light green.
Yeah, I guess I've been to in my life. I've been to 31 countries, and I have 22 cached. So I mean, some of them, like I said, like New Zealand and Australia, I've been before as a cacher. China, I went to in 1986 before it even existed. So, who knows if I'll ever get back to those places? But look, I plan to do a lot more traveling. Trust me.
Right, and I'm sure UDAC has a point. I'm sure you could finagle some sort of TV show where they're like, we're looking for an angle. We want to send Steve. Where's somewhere we could send Steve Austin to just just good TV, and you'd be like, oh, how about Antarctica?
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
I like her idea better. I think it might be easier to swing for dirty jobs. So stay tuned.
I wonder if there are any dirty jobs in Antarctica. There gotta be.
Of course.
There's gotta be.
I mean, there's a whole industry of people who have to maintain the bases down there, and people go there every summer to work down there. I mean, they gotta plow around the bases. They gotta cook. I mean, we could definitely get a show out of that, man.
Yeah. Make it so
cold. Oh man, that's what we got.
I love that. I love that probably half the people in the chat tonight are either your friends or have met you and hung out with you at one point or another. I love that.
Yeah, no, look, it's a great community. I mean, yeah, I met Craig here. UDAC I've cached with. Gas Station 2 is one of my number one caching buddies because he lives practically down the street.
Right.
I still can't solve some of his puzzles, but whatever.
He has puzzles. He seems like a creative guy. He seems like a right brain guy, not a left brain guy.
Well, no, listen, he's a little bit of both. I mean, look, he's got an emoji series of puzzles where it's just like emojis, and he's got a little story with the family and their little pet mouse, but whatever. But it's based on emojis. He's got a series of those, and here's the thing: they make you think, but yet they're really, really fun. And I think that they're some of my favorite caches ever as far as puzzles. Because look, sometimes you're just in the mood, to have fun doing it, but sometimes you really want to spend 17 days straight on a puzzle. Sure. Yeah. But I've been tripped up on a lot of his puzzles. A couple of them, like anything with math, I just don't even want to look at.
Yeah, I know. I'm right brain. That's one area that I've grown a little bit though. It's like sometimes I just don't even look at them. But in quarantine, I was getting kind of bored. Honestly, I was like, okay, I'll actually look at this and see if I can figure it out. And you know what? Sometimes it just takes just looking at it, being like, oh, this isn't as hard as I thought it was.
Oh, I've had literally I look at something for a good hour and then I'll come back 7 days later and I was like, oh, there it is. But now I look back, I did a solving spree 3 years ago in a month, and just to get a lot of them built up. Then again, I'm trying another challenge. I'm trying to get a challenge for every day of the year. So I've got most of the months filled, but I saved a lot up here from the different puzzlers, here, and people are saying, hey, how did you solve this one? I got tripped up. I look at it again. I have no idea even how to start it. How did I do that? I mean, honestly, it's like my brain is just scrambled from some of the things.
I love it. All right. Dave, thank you so much. You're such a great interview. I mean, I've heard you on other podcasts. Of course, we've had dinner together. So it was awesome to catch up with you. Thanks for coming on. For late notice. Is there somebody that wants to find you on your social media or anything? Just
yeah. Listen, I'm not
put yourself over, as they say.
Yeah, I'm not a huge social media guy, but listen, you can just hook if you really want to talk to me for whatever reason. Just find me through geocaching.com. That's the easiest thing to do. Send a message. I mean, after the dirty jobs thing, I've had all these people who were fans of the show and didn't realize it was geocacher, trading path tags. It's so cool. I'm really into path tags and as you know, and I've been doing that as well. And it's really heartening that a lot of people enjoy the show and we share something in common like geocaching. It's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, Dave, thanks again. Hope to see you again soon. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to open up open up some mail. So I'll let you sign off. So thanks, man.
Thanks, Josh. We'll do it again hopefully sometime.
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yay. Thanks, Dave. Oh, you guys. What a great interview that was. Dave been a lot of places. His energy and his excitement about the hobby, and he just let a whole lot of people on national television know about geocaching. He introduced them to geocaching. I just think that's great, fantastic to bring our little hobby a little bit more into the mainstream. So that was pretty cool. So. Thanks everybody that's sticking around the chat. I have a few mail items that I wanted to open. I forgot to grab them out of my backpack, and I think Bryson might still be here. I know that Bryson sent a letter. If you guys, everybody always asks when I open mail in person, they're always like, we can send you something in the mail, and I'm like, yeah, go ahead. So my mail address is in the description below if you like to send me something. No guarantee that I'll open it up on air, but hey, I've been doing this every other week, so that's awesome. Neil Moore, totally true. Super nice, down to earth guy. Totally. So, and just a great interview. He's a great guy to like hang out with, and I hope we can get back, guys. I hope we can get back to mega events. So so we can all meet up once again. So Melinda Watson gave me this little letter opener, and so this first one is from John Hemsley. We did a little trading, a little trackable trading. One of the things I don't know if I ever showed you this. One of the things I like to collect in here. Do you know what's in here? This is actually for like Lego. Turn this off. This is for like Lego minifigs, but in here you can see trackables, lackey trackable tags. So I like to kind of have them in a different case. So there were some lackey tags that he had that I did not have. So let's just see if it's. So we got here. Yeah. You guys, anybody? Let's turn the lights back on. Any of you guys own this one? I did not have that one in my collection, but now I do. So pretty cool. I think this is like the three. Speaking of the Three Stooges, this is like there's Jeremy Irish, there's Brian Roth, and then please forgive me, I forgot the other guy, the other founder of Geocaching.com. Craig has that one. Yes. I should invite some lackeys on for a chat. What lackey would you want me to invite? Everybody has been so kind. Pretty much almost everyone I've asked to be interviewed has said yes. So, yes, Ryan Semmels, thank you so much. I hope he's not watching. Yes. Okay. So that's Elias. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it. We've got Bryson. Bryson is here. Bryson sent me another letter. How nice is that? Thank you so much, Bryson. We're going to open it up. I figured out how to use the actual letter opener. On the back, I love that this says on the back, it says, warning, awesomeness overload. You guys, awesomeness overload. I'm excited. Here we go. Oh, this thing is slick when you know how to use it. 2 weeks ago when I used it, I was really, really bad at it. But I opened. Oh, it is pretty awesome, Bryson. Yeah. Oh, he made a photocopy. Check this out. Photocopy of what I sent him. I sent him a little stuff in the mail, and he sent it back. There's also some paper clips. I needed more paper clips. This is handy. And then we have a going caching card, and it's trackable on the back. I'm not going to show you. So he says, can't write back anymore. So this is probably the last letter. but star, 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 exclamation mark. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Bryson, thank you. That's very kind of you. And I love that you made a photocopy of what I sent you in the mail. So that's pretty cool. Neil Moore says I should interview the receptionist Lackey. It would be cool to hear what she experiences. She experiences as the first face of HQ. That would be great. She is I don't recall her name right now, but she is delightful. She is delightful. She was a lot of fun to get to know. Last time I visited HQ, had a little bit of talk. Have a little bit of talking with her. Oh, this thing, Melinda, this thing is awesome. Now that I figured out how to use it, super, super handy. I figured it out. Before, I wasn't doing so well, but it's really slick. I really like this thing. It's right up here, so it's pretty awesome. Oh yeah, if you'd like to say anything, Joshua Johnson, 5215 Edina Industrial Boulevard, Suite 400, Minneapolis, Minnesota 55439. And that does not mean that I don't live in a suite. I don't live, you guys. I don't live the sweet life with Zach and Cody. So, yep, and the address is also in the description. You guys, a light mail, but that's okay. That's all right. I'll check out this. Look what I got. I got a little. This has got something new. I got like a frame for the FTF magazine, and cool thing is that when you get the ones with the seal on it, the magazine's actually trackable, and I don't think I've been activated that, so hopefully nobody does. So, all right. Well, what a great show. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you to our patrons. We have several patrons in the chat right now. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you to the Twonky. Thank you to those that gave the super chats. Super nice, like super awesome, like Bruce Meest and others. Let's go back. I can't see. We'll go back to the beginning. Oh, they disappeared. I think See My Shell gave a super chat as well. That was really fun. Yeah, I do like it. It is super cool. Like I kind of like that it's like super, it's like thick. So it's like kind of like a shadow box, but it's meant for magazines or whatever. And yes, See My Shell, the Aussie geocacher, #1 patron. He was the first one. Many years ago. So I appreciate that. And the cool thing about Patreon now is that you can support for the whole year. It's just one giving payment for the whole year, and then you're done. And if you do that, right now I have a thing where you get like 1 month free, I think. So that's kind of cool. So some people, if you don't want to pay monthly, that's cool. Wouter, I don't know. I always forget. Is also a patron. Bruce Meest, also a patron. All right, guys, have a great night. I have to now turn over the Villa Cachers. Oh my gosh, Bryce, the Villa Cachers are also patrons. They just actually upped their pledge this week. So thank you so much, Bryce. I really appreciate it. And he went out of his way. FTF Magazine, dude. Not sponsored right now, but you guys, if you're in the chat right now, like you're probably a diehard geocacher. That's like why you're here. And you need to subscribe to this because, man, I look forward to it every month. And talk about puzzles. Every month there's a puzzle I'm going to cover up. I'm not good at puzzles. I actually solved the puzzle in here. I found, for those of you subscribers, have you found Spartacus this month? I found him. Took me 2 times. I'm looking right at him right now. It's kind of like there's like a Where's Waldo game in the middle of it. Where's Waldo game where you have to find this guy. Oh, look at here. Who's that guy? Look at that guy in there. Who is he? Weekly, inspirational, family-friendly geocaching video adventures? Who could that be? Yeah, if you're overseas, you can get the electronic. And the cool thing also, they publish every single milestone. So if you send them a milestone with your picture, they'll publish it. I love geocaching. FDF magazine. Oh, also, it's so fun because when I go through these, I always look and see if there's people I know in person. Oh, you see this guy? Does anybody know who that celebrity is? Does anybody know who that is? Somebody's got to know. First to know, Melinda, you haven't received your issue yet. Does anybody know? He's a celebrity. Who is he? Who is he, and what did he do? Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Who is he? Anybody know? I just was watching a new Netflix show the other night, and he was on that. Geospy, but that's not who he is. Nope. Geospy is who this guy's with. But that's Geospy, but who's that? It's not Tricassius. Nice guess. No, this guy is on Netflix. I saw him this week on Netflix. He's known for something that has to do with the 80s. Trying to see if I have anything that will give you a hint. You guys have to know. Come on, somebody in the chat has to know who that is. Let's see if I had something that would be a good hint. Quad? No, it's not Quad. Who is it, guys? I have something that's a good hint. Okay, I'm going to give you a hint. You ready? Here's the hint. That's your hint. Who is it? You guys got to know now. Ryan Seville, you're stumped? What show on Netflix is he on? It's a new show. I gave you the hint. It's delayed. I gave you the hint. It's retired guy. Yes, Ryan Seville. But what is retired guy known for? Pac-Man. You guys, he's the creator. He's the creator of Miss Pac-Man. He's the creator of Miss Pac-Man. That's pretty cool. The creator of Miss Pac-Man, Doug McCrae, Miss Pac-Man. Doug McCrae is a geocacher. I think we should get him on the show. He is very well traveled. So I'm going to try. So Doug McCrae, if you're watching, shout out. We want to see you in 2 weeks. We want to see you in 2 weeks here because we want to talk to you about geocaching. And we might talk a little bit about Miss Pac-Man because that's really cool. So I'm going to have to. I think Doug McCrae is actually going to be on Geocache Talk soon too. So maybe. But it'd be cool. All right. It is an hour and 12 minutes. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you for those who watched the replay. And it looks like, I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know who the guest is going to be, but we'll probably be back together here live in 2 weeks. Let's just do a little channel update here. Channel update before I close things off. First of all, we'll have a video this Sunday from the great city. City's a stretch. The town, the community of Gilby, North Dakota. We're going back to Gilby. And then Wednesday, I don't know if I'm doing anything next Wednesday. But then after that, we'll launch. Can you believe the end of the month is over? We'll launch the September Geo Challenge of the month. That'll be September 6th, I believe. And then, oh gosh, you know what? Look what else I got in the mail. We got to open up this bad boy. Look, it's still sealed. This is the August cache crate. So I got to open up this. So you'll see a video of this soon. Maybe next Wednesday. Maybe the Wednesday following that. All right. All right. Have a great night, everybody. Love your faces. Appreciate you all. Thanks again, Dave Barsky, the Twonky. You guys have a great night. Thanks, guys. See ya.